Hello, I'm Mahogany, Lyles, and welcome to I Wish You Knew. Every generation can be identified by the slang they use. For millennials, the hip-hop group Migos coined a phrase everyone is using, doing it for the culture. Hello, this is your girl Mahogany, Lyles here with DKN Sports. I'm here with Dr. Connell. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and you?
Good. So what are your thoughts on tonight? This is a huge historic event. What are your thoughts about today? You having your own background in music, having a degree, what advice do you give the students going off to that next chapter in college and they wanting to pursue their artistry as musicians or as writers or even as composers? Hoops, fleet feet on the track, gridiron greatness, and so much more. We're bringing you the best of DC Scholar athletes as they shine on and off the field. And meet the coaches and communities who have their backs and support their success, from the pros to those with promise. If it's about athletics, it's on DKN Sports. Fridays at 8 p.m., we got you covered. So what would be the best advice would you give to a young artist, someone in school or someone just making their way off to college? What's the best advice you can give them being an artist and your experience in this industry?
No, it didn't, because now, like you said, we see it all on our social medias. We see it on all these different platforms that kind of make a point that it's here. We're seeing it, we're being more aware, we're being more educated about it, and it's the norm now. It's become a norm, and are we accepting of it? Are we becoming an ally of it, or are we a part of the community? And we just have to be more present that we have a community out here that is part of the LGBTQ, and we just have to decide how do we distinguish and have those conversations about it and that it's relevant.
Okay, so
like our parents kind of seeing their young selves in us, because I feel like at one point our parents did want to travel. They wanted to see the world, but because of circumstances and how things, they were providers. They needed to provide for us. And now we just like, okay, bye, we eat noodles. Like we figure it out. Like that's our mentality. Like it would just go back to you. Like I went to the Western Caribbean and I swim with stingrays.
On purpose?
On purpose.
You know they be killing
so
people.
I'm just keep it. They're like, wait, so you about to go swim with stingrays? I'm like, yeah. And I did it. Right there, it's sitting on me. And I told my mother, she almost passed out. She said, you're lying. I'm like, no, it was a fear. It was on my list to do, and I went and faced it. I was the only black girl, but hey, I repped it because I wanted to do it. And that was accomplishment, because I'm like, we always hear like, oh, this could happen, this could happen. Okay, so what if you do it? You know?
Man, that's fantastic.
We live in a time when a YouTube show can turn you into a Hollywood star, and the music you drop on SoundCloud can get you a deal with a label, or a spot here as a regular panelist on I Wish You Knew. Is the internet popularity really popping? And what does success mean for millennials? Here to tell you what they wish you knew are... Hey, I'm Yasmin. What about for you right now?
What she said. Yeah, what she said. No, listen, we're a team, and it's like she's Batman and I'm Robin. And so I'm just here tonight to just be her extra support system. Again, we've been in the game since we grew up in the game. And so just to continue to stay consistent, reinventing the wheel, not just in music and TV, but in multiple businesses outside of the entertainment field. It's important.
Shout out to Ray Triner. Congratulations to you again. You deserve it. You're so worthy of it. And keep both of you doing what you're doing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I loved when we talked about travel. I think it was so important, and we had our guests from DCPS with their travel abroad program, and it was so amazing that DC even has that, because we were all like feeling some type of way, because like, we didn't have that growing up. Just the opportunities they can go to different countries and they get to explore another culture, like just to know that the next generation is able to have those type of access and have those people there to support that was everything. And us having passports, that's crucial, because we also need to explore. Everybody got theirs in?
I got
We got it? Okay.
It's on its way.
It's on its way? And another good one, we talked about peer pressure. And I really like that we got to point out the positive and the negatives of peer pressure, because I think we always think about the negative and we don't realize the positive when we have a good circle, or the people that we surround ourselves by can be able to motivate us and push us in the right direction so we can advance.
Listening to Robert Glasper, and you got to ask a couple of questions yourself. How did that feel to hear and talk to someone that's going through the process and is an artist, and you're inspiring to go in those same footsteps? Do you feel like his remarks and feedback were really good to what you're trying to do? That first, some of us are able to have the balance of family and career, because that is really difficult. And a lot of us as millennials now, we have going into that transition. And then some of us feel like we want to be successful financially and have that stability
Right.
before we go
I
into
know.
the family aspect.
Yeah.
So it's different for everybody.
I think my issue with it is with the children. I think that's when it gets sensitive, when it's in schools, like middle schools or elementary schools, because a lot of parents might naturally be comfortable with their children being able to be in a gender neutral bathroom where the girls and the guys can go into. And that's a conversation that the school has to have with the parents, because you're going to have different pros and cons of what they feel about it. You do also see those gender neutral bathrooms in a lot of employment and also college universities. And I think it just really depends. I think when we're older, we see it more and we're a little more accepting of it. But when it comes to the children, we're kind of like, are we pushing it on to them? Or is this something that parents are even ready to have a conversation about it with their young children? You're talking 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. But the reality of the situation is you do have some children who don't identify with a specific gender. And they're trying to accommodate their needs as well. So it's like a double whammy.
So thank you so much for your time, and congratulations to your success and just everything you're doing here for the students here in District of Columbia. It's amazing, and please continue to keep doing what you're doing. We need more of you here in DC. Thank you.